That is good. Things are good. Hello there. Hi, everyone at home. Welcome to a Filthy Talk. It might be a little weird you can't see me smiling because I'm wearing a mask. But we have a mask mandate now in the province of British Columbia, and we're wearing masks today. So yeah, anyway, you should be wearing one too. Not at home, but like, you think of others. Let's try to end this goddamn thing. Anyway, hi, welcome to a Filthy Talk, and I'm your host, Trevor Gemma. Next to me is Roz Young. And joining us for the first time, both of them, Jordan Bray and Clara Coelho.
Hello.
And also for the first time as fact checker, we have Jacquelyn Son, who you've seen up here before. Woo, woo, but now she's there and she's fielding your questions and talking to you in the chat, and she will be our fact checker. Ooh, squeaky chair. I swear it was the chair. Damn these chairs. Can we grease these things up or something, like oil them so they stop squeaking?
We need to have greasy things on the Filthy Talk set.
Yeah, let's get more grease involved. And I don't mean grease lightning. So before we get into what we're talking about today, which will be animation, I want to give a couple shout outs to the people in the company. I want to congratulate a couple of the teams, our Holiday Horror Club team, who had like a really good success with their first iteration with social circles. The thing did really well during Halloween. I should have mentioned it last week. I'm sorry I didn't. And then this week, we've had quite the run with It's Just My Thing, which Jordan was the star co-writer, right?
Yeah.
Co-written and co-directed. And
A lot of hats.
yeah, for someone pretty who's like the second time.
The best hat of them all.
Yeah, the best hat, definitely the best hat of them all. And if you haven't seen It's Just My Thing, check it out. It's doing really well and it's really funny. So yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Congrats to the whole team.
Oh.
Great job, everybody. It's nice to see a little traction and success with fucking some of our stuff here. How's that feeling for you?
It's still a little surreal.
Yeah?
It's kind of weird. I really didn't expect it to be that good. I'm not blowing smoke up my own ass here.
Yeah.
Sure.
I didn't expect it to take off that well.
Yeah. I mean, the funny thing is, it's one of our most successful videos, like, as soon as we launched it. It could still just go crazy.
Oh, it's got another 1,500 views left to go before it's at the top there.
Ryan said he thinks 10,000.
10,000.
I think he's going to hit 10,000 for sure.
Dear Lord.
So it's
Well,
what he's thinking.
eventually
It's what he's thinking. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. It's climbing pretty quick.
Regardless, it's really exciting because what we're doing right now is making content that everybody is passionate about and
Yep.
loves, and hoping that, we're going to find our audience and find all of those other weirdos out there who loves what we love too. And for you to find weirdos so fast is great.
Yeah, it's validating,
It is.
right? Yeah. There's some people who share your weird, messed up sense of humor. Okay, so
Sorry, business.
congratulations aside, that was just a little bit of business. As always, what are we drinking?
All
Starting with
right.
Clara.
So, Trevor, today I'm always been a gin and tonic kind of gal.
Ooh,
So I'm rocking the Aviation American Gin.
nice.
Shout out to Van City Reynolds up in here. So
Shameless plug.
I'm like, hee hee hee.
Nice.
That's what I'm drinking. And I got my fun tumbler, which I have water in.
Ooh,
Yeah,
Nice.
water.
balance.
Always gotta make sure I don't get a headache in the next day.
Smart, very smart. What about you, Jordan? What you got?
This here is our North Point Strawberry Ale, I think.
Strawberry blonde. Strawberry blonde. Okay, that's a strawberry
yes,
blonde.
and it does taste as pretentious as it sounds.
Are blondes more fun at this point?
Yeah.
Then like, are blondes more fun than what, a pale ale? Cool. Yeah, I'm also drinking the Aviation American Gin. Don't mind plugging local boy Ryan Reynolds' gin. Try it out. It's actually really good.
Yeah.
Like I had a bottle of gin recently that I was like, like I tried a new one, wasn't great. This stuff is fantastic. And I tried it straight before I mixed it with anything, and it's got some punch, but it's tasty. And then I mixed it with stuff. What about you?
I'm also drinking Aviation Gin. I'm a huge fan of gin, and I'm just mixing it with soda, because I don't want to change the general flavor profile. I want to just enjoy it without putting anything else in it right now. It is delightful. I love the strong juniper flavor. I love to make gin cocktails, so I will probably pick up one of these and make my favorite drink, which is the Negroni.
Oh.
Ooh.
Wait, what's in a Negroni?
It is usually equal parts Campari, sweet vermouth, and gin. And then
Okay.
the best part, you'll twist a orange peel, get the citrus oils, and then light it on fire!
Okay, that's just fun. And that's clapping. That sounds fun.
It's great. We'll
I
make
think
some.
Matt's right. He said we should do like a cocktail mixing episode. I think we should. We should be
We'd
fancy.
love to
for
make
it.
drinks.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so, Jacquelyn, what are you drinking?
I have water.
Oh, lovely.
Water bottle.
Are you,
Health.
wait, did you not drink on the episode you
No,
were
I
up here?
usually do drink, but because of my health issues, this
Right.
week I haven't been.
Right.
I miss it so much.
Respect. Take care of yourself.
Thank you.
I feel
Cool.
left out. I need to try some of this.
Oh, by all means. Get in there. Okay.
Are you a gin straight man, or can I soda you?
You know what? Soda me up. What you? Boy, I
I don't know.
gotta
Waiting for you
drive
to
a
say something.
motorcycle like 40 minutes in the rain here.
He needs a little
Well, you're
soda.
going to be sticking around work for a bit then. Yeah. So, good? Okay.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, thank you.
There you go, buds.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so before we get into the thing that we're going to talk about today, I'm going to tell you why. And we have a regular, he's been watching our stuff, joined us, or they, I don't know that it's a he. They joined us a couple weeks ago in Filthy Talk when we were talking about the Mandalorian. Azer Azuli, or Azer Alui, sorry. And Azer mentioned that they'd like to see us do an episode about Rick and Morty. So we're not doing just Rick and Morty, we're talking about animation in general, especially geared towards adults, but listening to our audience and doing this for you, Azer. So thanks for watching.
Wait, tell the story. Clara joined us today on this episode, and she brought in her, just randomly happened today to bring in her tumbler. It has Rick and Morty on it.
Right, it does.
Mind is blown. I can't believe that happened today. I honestly haven't even used this tumbler for probably months.
Oh.
Like, it's just in a corner, and I was just like, I need a tumbler. What am I gonna do? I need hot beverages. And then I just grabbed it, and I came to work, and then Trevor comes over and is like, hey, do you like cartoons? That's my voice for you now, I'm sorry.
I dig it.
Do
That's
you
great.
like cartoons? And I was like, hey, that's
Sound pretty
cool.
old. Hey, you, do you like cartoons?
They're moving pictures.
So that's you now. And then it just so happens that I put all these awesome cartoon stickers, which is the topic today.
Yeah.
And I have Mr. Poopy Butthole on it.
Mr. Poopy
I'm
Butthole.
very proud of Mr. Poopy Butthole. He's my favorite.
Is he your favorite?
Yeah, I love Mr. Poopy Butthole.
Oh, nice.
And his like sad, life story.
Everyone loves Mr. Poopy Butthole.
For the generation watching this that hasn't seen Rick and Morty, because it's a child's show.
It isn't.
It's not a child's show.
No, it is not a child show.
It's your child's show, though. That's.
So I think the thing that's really fascinating about animation that I kind of want to discuss with you guys is for like Xennials, which I'm like in that small designation, it's a very narrow group, and Millennials, we were very much more prevalently raised on animation and cartoons than like our parents before us, and it's remained and kind of aged with us. So like I know through the ages there's been things that have been kind of geared towards my demographic, and that seems to be continuing with stuff like Rick and Morty and Archer and other stuff like that. And have you guys always been animation fans?
Yeah.
Yeah? What kind of stuff did you watch growing up?
I was president of the Sailor Moon fan club.
Oh,
Oh. What?
It consisted of me and end of list. And my sister. Yeah, end of list. I made appointments at the library to invite people. It was really fun. But always, like, growing up watching cartoons were always before school or after school, and then,
did you say Sailor Moon in high school?
yeah.
How big of an age gap is there between me and you? Because I think I was in elementary school when Sailor Moon was the thing.
But we were also watching, we would get our hands on the actual Japanese show.
Oh.
So, go down to the kind of sketchy store that they sold somewhat comic books, somewhat old gum, and and you could get your hands on actual like content from Japan. So some manga, some anime, and then you could watch the Sailor Moon episodes in Japanese where their skirts would actually go up, and you'd be like, oh, scandalous.
Oh my. Who was your favorite Sailor Scout?
Sailor Mercury.
Mercury. I was always partial to Jupiter.
Sam too.
Yeah, I know. That scored bonus points for me in the Halloween costume competition. What did you guys watch growing up?
Jeez.
Oh, sorry, I'll let you go.
Oh, no, I insist.
I was just going to jump into the whole Sailor Moon thing in grade 1 because I was such a fan of Sailor Moon, and my best friend at the time, I say this at the time, she also wanted to be Sailor Moon, and we duked it out over like her magic wand, and then I won, and then we were like not friends anymore. I'm sorry.
Wow. Oh, wow. A falling out in grade 1.
Yeah, because
Over-
she was like, I want to be Sailor Moon, and I was like, I'm Sailor Moon. You're Sailor something else,
I'll sailor you into next week. Ah.
I remember having a very similar competitive thing over who got to be what Power Ranger. At recess, that kind of thing.
Recess fights were so great back then because it was a little bit like, that's not how Fireball works. And we have those same fights here. Now,
We do. Nothing's changed.
we were just having fights about fireballs.
Those weren't fights. That was
No.
just discussions. I think. Right?
They were just discussions.
Uh-oh.
That sounded weird. We're talking about our
Wait,
D&D
go.
Okay.
Jordan.
Yeah, what were you going to say?
Please.
I don't know. I feel like I always watch stuff that was sort of on the fringe of nobody knows the stuff that I refer to when I talk about the cartoons that I used to watch. Anybody else watch
Trimey.
Yvonne of the Yukon?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, of course. There you go. That was like the most. That's
That's
the
the
most
one.
basic one I could think of.
That's the most basic or
that
the most
kind of stuff.
fringe?
I think the big thing that transitioned all of us and our families into animation that was for family and everybody and then adults is The Simpsons. But I was at a household where we didn't watch The Simpsons a ton, and so I would go to school and kids would all be like, water cooler talk, The Simpsons, and I'm like, I didn't watch it last night.
Get it. See, The Simpsons is like, I guess maybe the only, what season are they on? Can you check that, Jacquelyn? What season is The Simpsons currently on?
What?
400.
It's got to be in the 30s. I know, it's insane. But it's seen the test of time and changed with the time. Because like you go back and watch really old season 1 Simpsons from the 80s and it's like, it's rough. And then it really hit its stride like after a couple of seasons and then,
Well,
I mean, I lost.
Schwartzwelder, that guy. Oof. He took
Who?
it up. John Schwartzwelder, a man so good at writing that Simpsons fans thought he didn't exist. He thought he must have been a room full of writers
Oh,
coming up with these jokes, but this guy was just infamously good.
really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
People thought he was a room of people.
He did, yeah.
Wow.
He's also very reclusive. Nobody ever, you can't get an interview with him. You can't get a phone call with him. No, nothing. You can't get an autograph.
How long was he with the show?
I think he did like 50 some odd episodes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he could be like 3 puppies in a trench coat.
He could be.
Like,
Or
oh.
just a bunch of Muppets.
He
It's just the Muppets.
Ostrich wearing a garbage bag. I don't know.
Hey, wait, so
on season 32.
Damn.
And they will start season 33 in fall 2021.
Wow. Yeah, they're taking a big COVID hiatus, which is interesting. That's like another thing that I wanted to get into here was like, I think there's going to be a huge boom in animation because of COVID, because it doesn't really interfere with production in the same way that it does with live action stuff. People can be remote and still work on things. So I think we're going to see a lot more animated stuff, especially since something like Into the Spider-Verse has proven to Hollywood that you can have a Academy Award-winning successful blockbuster film.
so
Oh yeah,
much.
amazing movie.
Part.
And then did you transition into watching South Park? Because that was very much, jokes were all of a sudden at that line and
Yeah.
across it sometimes.
Oh, sometimes?
Okay.
Habitually. Habitual line steppers. I mean, they actually, at a certain point, South Park, their goal beyond, I think it was beyond 10 seasons. Is it Trey Parker and Matt Stone, or is it Matt Parker and Trey Stone?
Yeah, you got it the first time.
Trey Parker.
They stated, I think after 10 seasons, that their goal was to get canceled, and they were going to keep pushing the line as far as they could, and be as they were trying to offend everyone to the point where they get canceled, and they just kept getting crazier and crazier, and still haven't been.
That sounds like what Trump's plan was.
Oh, shots fired.
I'm just saying, you're like, I'm going to be president. Sure.
How do I get impeached?
Well, he got 4 seasons.
No movie.
No movie. Well, there'll be some sort of biography,
I'm sure there already is.
Or several. But yeah, like what was my first exposure to? I think like early stuff was very much Looney Tunes.
They're just on repeat forever.
Yeah, but like even that was even our parents' generation. We saw syndication when we were younger. But I grew up on like G.I. Joe, Transformers, Thundercats, all that kind of stuff. Did you just get excited over Thundercats?
Thundercats are go over there.
Thundercats are go. Thundercats! Oh!
Oh gosh.
So excited.
And then what happened for a little while? I don't know. It kind of got a bit quiet, or at least maybe we were all busy, just kind of growing up. And then what did you watch following those moments? You know.
I don't
Had
think
those
I ever
ongoing-
stopped.
You were always watching.
I think I always had something that I was watching. Like Saturday morning cartoons was always a thing for me. Like it went from those ones into things like Ninja Turtles, and then like DuckTales. I remember DuckTales feeling like kind of the gap bridger. Woo! And I got into a lot of that Disney stuff. But like Saturday mornings, I think it was early 90s was when that really like hit a stride that I don't think has been rivaled.
But they started doing a bunch of live action kids content that was really fun, like
what?
Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide.
Whoa, that was a deep cut.
Super fun show. But then they have like a bunch of cartoons that are a little more modern, but still for kids, like Gravity Falls, best show.
so
Steven
good.
Universe, so good. And a bunch of those sorts of things were still for kids, but there became this just huge amount of content that was animated shows aimed at older people.
Yeah, I think some of it bridged gaps though. Like Darkwing Duck was the thing that went from like took that DuckTales audience, and it was a little edgier. It's basically Batman but Disneyed. I mean, he is Darkwing's Batman. He's totally Batman.
The cutest Batman ever.
Yeah. What did you guys watch? Like, okay, so did everyone here consistently watch cartoons, or were you in and out in phases over life?
I think I was in and out a lot of the time. Yeah, I was never like huge into cartoons. I actually got more into cartoons as I got older because I had started appreciating the weird, slightly more adult stuff.
Ren and Stimpy.
You know? That
Oh, yeah,
I never
Ren and
actually
Stimpy.
watched Ren and Stimpy,
Oh,
and
man.
I feel like I missed out. Thanks a lot, Mom.
Ren
But
and Stimpy was weird. Like at the time, there was nothing like that. And I mean, MTV was responsible for a lot of the
Well, Beavis
maturing.
and Butthead were kind of like.
Yeah,
right,
Beavis and Butthead, Ren and Stimpy. But then I can't remember what it was called. There was a late night MTV thing. Casey, what was that called? There was an MTV is it called like The Zone or something? And it's where they had the Max and Aeon
That
Flux.
was YTV on the Zone.
No, not The Zone then.
Right, but it wasn't MTV that originally developed.
Yeah. We want to look that up, Jacqueline?
Oh,
MTV.
What is she looking up?
They had
Okay, can you look up that thing I can't remember?
Look up MTV.
Late night.
Yeah.
TV.
MTV late night 90s animation.
Yeah.
And see
Godspeed.
what it was
What's
called.
it about?
It was just that they had, it was like,
Oh.
it was a banner for them to put out really twisted animation that was geared towards adults. So like the two key ones were Aeon Flux and the Max. And the Max was an adaptation from a comic book. But holy shit is that, oh, you have to watch the Max.
So
why would I
many.
see the Max?
The Max is like dark. It's a really weird and twisted look at mental health and like it's really good. It follows this character.
They tried to make Aeon Flux into a movie. Did not go well.
No. Although Charlize is in it, so it's still worth watching.
She's so amazing.
It had
great.
heart. It just wasn't there.
Yeah, the Max would make an amazing movie or series, like a live action series. It's crazy. It's like this guy who he believes himself to be a superhero. He's seeing these like little dark creatures like that are kind of like shadow turning into things that are called Izzes, and he like has to kill them and stuff. And he's in love with the social worker, but then he goes into this place in his mind called the Outback, and it's like he's got like long hair and dark and twisted. Watch the Max; it's a great show. But it was the thing that got me into like a lot darker cartoons.
Sure, yeah.
Because I was pretty young when I watched that. And then HBO had Spawn, which have you guys seen the Spawn, the animated series?
No.
Oh, yeah. I don't think anything.
Not as dark as you would think it would be.
It was super dark.
But like,
I was too young.
It was like spot on adapted from the comics.
yeah.
So,
So you already knew what you were expecting if you read the comic books.
I guess that's true.
It goes to hell, does hell stuff, fights things.
Just hell stuff.
Hell stuff.
Comes
As
back.
you do.
Yeah, hell stuff. Not very dark. There's just a lot of hell.
A lot of chains, a lot of fire, that sort of thing. Yeah.
You guys are talking about all these weird dark things, and I'm just sitting here like, I watch Rugrats and Doug.
See, I watched.
Dog.
See, I watched
There it
that
is.
too.
That's all I
innocent.
remember.
Like, I love that.
Pickle's family is delightful, and no one judges
Yes.
anybody.
Wait, wasn't there? Did anyone watch the? I think it's called All Grown Up.
Oh, that's like the.
I know the
older-
name.
It's Rugrats, but they're in like elementary school, like they're older.
Yeah,
It's all the same
I
characters. Was it any good?
No.
I haven't seen it.
You guys remember that?
That's why I
Never
didn't
saw
bring
it.
it up. I was like,
But Recess did a movie, and that was excellent.
Okay, they did a movie.
I loved Recess.
They were older too, right?
It's called
I
Lunch
don't
Hour?
remember. Matt will remember. Is he in the chat? And then everybody watches SpongeBob.
Yeah, SpongeBob was one of those things.
Made for kids, but beloved by adults.
Yeah.
I feel like it's sort of like the spiritual successor for kids, but of Rick and not
Ren and Stimpy.
Ren and Stimpy.
It
yeah.
is, very much so.
They take the close-ups, the classic.
Yeah,
Ren and
those,
Stimpy
like-
close-ups, the
like-
very visceral, gross. Look.
Yeah, you get close and you see the hairs and the pores and the.
But
yeah.
SpongeBob is pores. That's his thing.
I mean, yeah, yeah. He's absorbent, yellow and absorbent.
Yeah.
Is he?
Is he? My parents watched SpongeBob. They like I got them into it, and then it got to the point where they were watching it like constantly. They were, they were getting up to watch SpongeBob.
Oh, no.
I was like, what's happening? But it's great because I love cartoons that have like that like layered in stuff for
Adventure
adults.
Time is so brilliant.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It just does that so well. It's really enjoyed by people who are thinking on the same, age and range and the complexities that you can process as the writers, but then it still does a really good job of framing it as still enjoyable for kids, but so good. And so fork and weird. So weird.
Whoa. So, what did you watch young, and then did you go through a period where you thought you were too cool for cartoons and they were for kids, or like because you said you went in and out of it?
No, I don't really. It's hard to say because there was a lot of like live action stuff that kind of got me that I really liked watching too.
Okay.
But
What brought you back to cartoons?
geez, it might have been like animated movies, a lot of it, but like stuff like Titan AE and
Oh.
like Ralph Bakshi movies. Holy crap, loved those. I still do. Like so good. No.
What?
You've never heard of Ralph Bakshi?
No.
Oh man. You know the movie Wizards?
Oh yes.
That sort of stuff.
Okay.
Wizards. And then like I only like in the last couple of years I realized he did all kinds of other movies like Fritz the Cat and Cool World and that sort of thing. All this like just
World.
really dark kind of just hard to watch kind of in a weird way.
Yeah,
but
those were kind of hard to watch.
fantastic.
And weird.
He also did, the Lord of the Rings kind of thing, all rotoscoped, so it was in that uncanny valley with all their characters.
Those were weird.
It kind of put it off a little. I don't know.
So I think we've realized that there's a lot of stuff that was there. Like there were the odd show that was a lot more mature, but recently there's been a lot,
Oh, it's a boom.
and I think it's
Here for
because it's a cartoon boom.
Cartoon boom.
Cartoon boom. I think it's because they're gearing it towards our generation that grew up on cartoons and now wants to watch something that's a little more thematically interesting.
Or
But-
just wild and crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I love about Rick and Morty. Is it's wild and crazy, and also goes to some of the darkest, most depressing like storylines.
I don't know that I could hear the music from that episode where he's putting the crystal in at the end and he's every time I hear just music that even sounds like that music, I'm starting to have those same feelings of just like despair is real. It's just like, what a moment.
Yeah, that was.
And where they're digging their own graves out in the backyard. Oh,
Oh man, that
Yeah.
was
so
heart-wrenching.
crazy.
It's great to have something that can make you laugh as hard as that show, and then bring you to a point of like introspection and looking at your own life within an episode. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy.
It's super crazy.
Yeah, it's
Awesome.
speaks volumes about the creators.
And yeah, right?
Yeah.
What else are you guys watching that you're enjoying like that is mostly for family or adult?
Yeah.
I absolutely love Big Mouth.
Oh yeah.
My tops, definitely.
Hey,
My
Andrew.
top 3. As soon as it comes out, I watch it, and it's just so ridiculous. Does everybody watch it?
Yes.
Hey Andrew, why don't you go over there?
The hormone monster?
Yeah, I love the hormone monsters. They're amazing.
I've never seen it.
Oh my god, you haven't watched Big Mouth? It's so good.
No.
Oh my god.
No, please.
Yes,
Never
it's,
done seen it, yeah.
It's amazing. The voice acting is fantastic in it, and like John Mulaney's one of the 2 main characters, and oh my god, what's his name? Nick Kroll does like 7 or more voices, and it's hilarious. It's very much it's a look at like kids hitting puberty,
Yeah.
but it's not for kids at all. Like,
But it's that
maybe
it's that-
teenagers, but.
That post years looking back on it relational kind of.
Yeah. Like teenagers might like that show and find it funny, but it's very.
That might be too soon.
It's just
It might be too
PTSD for the rest of us.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But it plays into that so well.
It's basically tragedy plus time is comedy.
Yeah.
That is your youth, right?
Yeah.
So it's perfect.
Oh yeah. No, it's highly. Yeah, Big Mouth. Good call. That's.
Yeah, it is.
But then there's shows like BoJack Horseman that I know Lizzie loves, and Matt and I don't even watch it that much because the mental health is so real
Oh.
that it actually triggers for him sometimes. So
Oh.
he actually watches it and feels a bit like this is too much for me right now.
That's one of those
'Cause
shows.
The show is doing such a great job.
I've heard so many people that love that show, and I've watched some and laughed, but I have a really hard time with the animation. I don't like it.
Like that style.
Yeah, it's like if I pick up a comic book and I don't like the art style, I can't really get into it. And that show very much has an art style that I'm not a big fan of. But I've laughed when I've like had a roommate that was watching it years ago, and I'd like come home and be like, oh, I'd sit down and watch some of it, but I've never been able to get through a bunch of it. But for
That's
different
fair,
reasons,
right?
Like
Yeah.
such a different reason, because I could appreciate the writing and everything.
And how do you feel about the style of Archer, which is started out, it's quite block based and
Yeah,
it's using a
Archer.
difference, you know.
Archer, I think the writing and the voice acting and the comedy is so good that I didn't like the animation when I first started watching the first season, but then the evolution of the art through the series.
It's gotten much more dynamic, much more 3D.
Oh my
yeah.
God,
It
it's
feels
amazing.
to me almost like the way that Archer's animated is the writing is almost some of the jokes are actually made for the style of the animation.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the physical comedy in Archer is really dependent on that.
Actually, yeah, that's the
style.
crazy thing about it is it has really physical comedy
Yeah.
that I didn't actually ever really think about till right now. But
Jordan, the master of physical comedy.
keep them away from your screen doors, people. Yeah, it does have a lot of physical comedy in that show that wouldn't play in like a different style of animation.
Oh yeah, no.
Solid point.
They do slap each other a lot.
Yeah. I love that show though. It's so funny.
But all these cartoons that we're talking about, I noticed, it's usually a whole bunch of comedians that we all know and love.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is actually, how many of you actually would watch a show because you know that comedian? You're like, oh, that cartoon, it's voiced by this person. I really want to try it out.
I would.
Right?
I would do that. I tend to be. So I guess it depends. Like the new Harley Quinn show. I got told to watch that, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'll check it out. Like I like DC Comics and everything. I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was. Yeah, mind blown entirely.
I need to watch this.
Oh, it's so good.
So good, you will. So it just jumps right into the fact that I am not a show for kids. It shows you right away that they're
Oh,
swearing
yeah.
and it's extreme violence.
Extreme violence.
But
and
also,
gore. Like,
also extreme relationship drama, friendship drama.
yep.
So good. So good.
Yeah, and written. I think it's. My opinion doesn't matter. I've heard from a lot of women say that they appreciate this like female-led, well-written for women story, and I can appreciate it, and I think so. But my opinion doesn't matter as much as other people who have said it.
I would say it is one of the best representations of a female friendship that I've seen on TV lately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing. You
gotta call each other out on your bullshit.
Yeah.
Whether that's, a bad ex or you're still in love with the Joker.
Yeah.
Me at home all the time with Jacquelyn. So. Oops. I'm spilling the beans right now.
But yeah, it's really good, and I love that. Like you said, first episode, it's like minutes in, and you're just like, whoa! Like they're swearing, there's blood and gore. It's like super violent. So that hooked me immediately because I'm twisted.
Yeah.
But it's also like, but that was one that it was the subject matter that got me, and the style of the show that got me.
And then it turns out the voice talent is I don't know about yours, but Alan Tudyk's one of my favorite actors.
I
So-
like Alan Tudyk. I don't like his Joker all that much. I think it's good. It's better
You
than
have serious
many.
opinions about
it's
Jokers,
like
though.
mid-level Joker.
He's a
Mid-level
Joker connoisseur.
Mid-level Joker.
He is, exactly, Joker connoisseur.
I am a Joker connoisseur.
Yeah, so I don't know that anybody could do justice for you in the way that, other than it wasn't.
I don't think that's true.
Really? Okay.
You know who I honestly think Mark Hamill, amazing. I really love Nicholson's Joker. I would like to see, I want to play the Joker. Straight up, I want to play the Joker. But other than that, I think Andy Samberg would play an amazing Joker.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think that he.
You wouldn't cast him as the Riddler?
Fuck no. Okay, watch him like go and then put the
yes.
makeup on him,
I see.
and he would be absolutely terrifying. He's got massive teeth and shit. Like, seriously, I think it would lend itself to the Joker being a horrifying physical presence because of the structure of his face.
But he is charismatic and likable.
Yeah,
which also works in
but
that
he's
favor.
also
Okay,
good at
okay,
like.
No offense, Andy Samberg.
No. I love Andy Samberg. I think he's fucking hilarious. But I
His
also
weird
think
face and his big teeth. He'd be a great Joker.
Like, cool.
Well, but that would be fine because I think the thing is Sandberg understands layering in different emotions and not just a Joker. I think a Joker to be done really well, you have to find the joy in the insanity, and I think that he could find that. He'd have to find a darker place than anything he's done, but I think he could do it really well. Anyway, sorry, that's complete sidetrack.
Well, Alan Tudyk plays an amazing villain on Star versus the Forces of Evil, and I am sold as him as the Joker too.
Did you say Star versus? Isn't it Tucker?
No, Star versus the
What is
Forces
that?
of Evil is a cartoon,
Oh.
which is really cute. She's from another universe, and she has magic powers. It's for kids.
Oh, see, that confused me.
And
because
Roz's.
of, what is it?
Tucker and Dale
Tucker
versus
and Dale
Evil,
versus the
which
Book of
also
Periods, right? No, that's
No,
Todd versus the
that's
Book of
Todd
Periods.
versus the.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil, yes, also stars Alan Tudyk, and
Yes.
it's a great film.
Yeah, I'm so confused.
Well, great. It's fun.
It was a lot of fun.
It's a lot of
It was a really
fun.
good film. What were we talking about?
We're talking about animation.
Harley Quinn and
Harley
Thor.
Quinn.
So,
Great.
Harley Quinn. So it wasn't the talent that brought me to that show. But if you like Big Mouth, hearing that John Mulaney and Nick Kroll were doing voices for a cartoon, I would have watched that just on the strength of those comedians. But I don't think that that's. Yeah, I think it helps. I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah.
But like Rick and Morty, actually Rick and Morty, when I first started watching Rick and Morty, immediately I recognized that voice. And did you guys ever watch House of Cosby's?
No.
So it only got 3 episodes in. It was an online cartoon, like a flash animation thing. It's called House of Cosby's. Look it up. You might hate it, but it's, what's his name? Not Dan Harmon, the guy who does the voices of Rick and Morty. I can't think of his
For some
name.
reason, I
Oh.
don't remember.
Oh, come on.
Jacquelyn,
What?
fact check.
Justin Roiland.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
Justin Roiland, and I knew I recognized it. I'm like, that's the guy who voiced House of Cosby's, and it was like his first
Did
project.
you watch the behind the scenes where people had, with his group, challenged him to find out if he could get drunk and still do the Rick voice?
Doesn't he get drunk to do the Rick voice?
he doesn't.
I thought that was the thing.
No, so they tried it once.
I don't know, Morty. I don't know.
No, there was. I remember they had a behind the scenes.
I've seen that.
And he chugged. He was just
Yeah.
going at it, and he's just doing.
But I thought that he did that specifically for
No, they just
a scene
challenged
where
him
he
to
was supposed
try
to
if
be.
he could do
Oh, he
it.
was challenged?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I
Okay.
rounded back tequilas or something, and yeah.
Well, because I know that I saw a thing where he said that he drinks when he voices Rick so that the burps are natural.
But maybe that's just a little bit to have the sound of the burp in your mouth to make it extra moist. You want it to sound real?
Oh my God.
No? Okay. I
I
don't know.
mean,
I'm not an
I
actor.
guess.
You're an actor. Do you want your burps to sound real? Do you make it a little extra
I can
sloshy?
burp whenever. I don't need to.
Marvelous work.
Especially in like
Beautiful.
you just swallow air. It's not hard.
I have no idea how to do it, and I will not try.
You can't? Okay.
I'm gonna throw up by accident.
Oh yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. Especially with a mask on. Oh, nightmare. I wouldn't do it for the burps. I would do it for the inebriation.
Oh.
Like I played a character in a film that I gave the character, wasn't in the script, I gave him for the time period an opium addiction. And so every day I was taking about 8 Robaxacet Platinums just so that I was fucked up on something. So I had something that was messing me up. Not at the same time, 8 throughout the day.
Okay.
Which is also the maximum allowable dosage. Yeah, it was a bad idea.
Oh, man.
But I did it so that I was
acting hard.
actually a little fucked up. I don't recommend it. If you're doing it,
Jeez, I just smelled a lot of moose piss. I don't know. That's all I had to do. Get in the
What is the process of getting into the mind of a moose?
yeah, good question.
Yeah. That is a
For the
good question.
Moose Man. Come on, Moose Man.
Enlighten us.
Oh, yeah.
Do you put the helmet on first and then
Oh.
you get in there, or?
Betcha.
Oh.
Once the helmet's on, it's all moose.
What about the cup hands? I'm curious about those.
No.
Because you
The
can't
black solo cups? Yeah.
Flip.
You can't really like scratch your nose or like.
Oh, you can. You just do it like a moose.
Oh.
As a moose would scratch their nose.
So rub it
On a
against the
tree or a
something?
fence.
So did you actually study moose at all for that? Or
No,
did you
but-
just run around?
But no, I honestly didn't even, not for a second. But Tracy studied moose enough for the whole lot of us. And I was so impressed.
She's got this litany of facts she just yelled out through the
Just-
course of the.
They
Just pulled them out.
They
and
can
I
swim 6 miles an hour.
It was beautiful. Oh,
So you were just like, I'm gonna put on the outfit and run around.
I wanted to be like someone who didn't really know what a moose was like.
Okay.
I was just going off of memory. I figured the costume was camp enough, the performance got to match it, so.
That's fair. That's fair. It was great though.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, totally great. Okay, what are you guys currently watching?
Other than Archer, again.
Oh yeah, because wait, is Archer's new season?
It's coming, but I like
coming.
to watch all the old seasons of things before
Oh.
in preparation for a new season.
Like, have you come across anything new, animation-wise? That
Ryan sent me to Infinity Train, so I'm watching that. It's not
wait,
necessarily new, but
Infinity Train? I thought he was talking about Monster Train. Is the
Nope.
thing I've heard him say.
Infinity Train.
Infinity Train. What's that about?
About a girl who goes on a train for infinity. And she needs to, yeah, it's better than that. I'm not underselling it. She has to like solve problems and grow to figure out her life and the shit in her life and all the stuff going down. Yeah, it's great.
All right.
It's
it
not,
like a-
not a show that's like aimed at adults though.
Anything that like you guys have watched and been totally surprised
New
by?
season of Harley Quinn too. If you haven't seen the new season of
Oh,
Harley Quinn.
what? There's like a third season?
Oh, man.
Wait.
I've seen 2 seasons.
Jacquelyn, fact check.
How many?
I just watch it in like binge sessions.
Oh,
How many
okay.
seasons of Harley Quinn, the animated show?
Yeah.
Pretty sure there's a new one. Have you seen them go to?
Don't spoil it for me. 2 seasons.
Okay.
There's only 2. So then
Well,
yes.
then it was new to me.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
watching it tonight. Don't spoil it.
Hell yeah, get into it. Okay, have there been any newer animated shows that you like tried out, you were either surprised by or disappointed by?
Absolutely.
Yes. I was gonna say, what's that show with the guy plays a basketball teacher?
Hoops.
Hoops.
Hoops is surprisingly funny.
I was gonna say I'm not into it.
Oh,
Yeah, I know.
It's mediocre.
Wait, it's got really lame-looking animation, right?
I think so. Like just
Like-
very like meh.
Yeah.
And it's about he's just a washed-out teacher. His dad's really famous basketball player, but he's a coach.
Oh.
And he just absolutely fails at being one. And it's just like how not to be a coach essentially.
Oh.
But it was like, I watch it when I'm doing chores and I play it in the background, not like, oh my God, what's happening? I have those.
That's fair. I didn't really give it a ton of chance, so it's possible that maybe it has to grow on me a little bit. But I kind of jumped in, tried one episode, and meh.
I think that was one of those ones where I saw the style of animation and I didn't even give it a try. I'd love there to be a more X-Men the animated series.
Oh.
Sorry, we're just like
But
got all
there
nostalgic for
are-
a second.
Speaking of those things coming up, too, right? Some future Star Wars content.
Yes, yeah. There's the Bad Batch coming up, and so I actually have to go back and watch Clone Wars.
Yes, you
I
do.
finished Rebels, so just as a little bit of a throwback to our Mandalorian episode from 2 weeks ago. Yeah, cover your ears. I might have a little bit of spoiler action here, but we fucking called it. I don't remember if it was Nor or me or you or who said it, but the fact that like Mando doesn't take his helmet off and like the whole like all of the all of the
Mandalorian
the
lore.
Mandalorians that he's a part of, that like this is the way, they don't
the
never
way.
take their helmet off, no one has ever seen you with the helmet off. They're fucking zealots. They are not the traditional Mandalorians from
And
Mandalore.
Morty was talking a whole bunch about the Mandalore. She was the one that was saying they're probably on the outskirt, on the like
Was it
fringe.
Lauren?
Well, I don't know who predicted it, but she was the one talking about the main Mandalore, the Society of Mandalore, and then the people on the fringe.
Yeah, I know.
These guys might be.
I was asking the question because in the cartoons and Rebels on Mandalore, all of the different clans like take off their helmets and hold them, and they're talking and shit. And I was like, does it not jive or does it jive? And then there was a goddamn character. I'm so excited about this because I don't know if this has happened any other time, but it certainly hasn't happened in Star Wars, where they take a character that originated in an animated series and then realize them in live action. I'm not saying who it is, so it's only a partial spoiler, but it's fucking amazing. Like it was an episode last week, and they hinted at another character that's from the cartoons today. So I can't wait to
off
watch
the
this episode.
side.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm freaking out because like this show has taken Star Wars expanded universe elements and hinted at you're finally going to see those realized, stuff from the books, and then the cartoon stuff that is only existed within the realm of the cartoons and realized it in live action. And it's rekindled my love of Star Wars, and it's making me like I'm like freaking out on the weekend.
What ruined your love of Star Wars?
Oh,
Solo? It's okay.
Do you want to go there? No, it wasn't Solo. It was the new trilogy. I'm not going to say one specific movie. It was the new trilogy as a whole, because as a whole, it's trash.
Okay, quick weigh in. You worked on the Star Wars panel. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Star Wars.
I'm lost. You know what? If you like it, you like it.
Do you care about Star
If
Wars?
it makes you happy, I think it's kind of cool. It's I like the idea of it as like a fantasy world building kind of.
Yeah, word.
It works.
That's fair.
It plays. It's good.
Long time ago, in Galaxy Far, Far Away.
Hey, no, man, just what do you want more? What more do you want?
Star Wars?
I'm like the probably only person that I know that hasn't watched much of Star Wars.
Oh.
And then everyone's like, what? And I'm just like, I don't know.
Oh.
I just never got
Be
into it. But
banished from the community.
What have you watched? Because that could be sacrilegious.
I watched something when I was a kid, something about Jar Jar Binks. I don't know what.
Oh, no.
I don't know what that was.
Okay,
I was
so
a child.
there
Well,
I was
is
like,
clearly the
definitely a
best
future
movie of the
opportunity
whole
for all
sort
of us
9 of
to
them.
force you to watch Star Wars with us, and we will probably shoot it.
we're gonna
starting-
live stream me reacting to all the Star Wars
Oh.
movies, and I'm gonna be like, what's happening?
That's a great idea.
Right? All right,
That's gonna be a
24-hour
long one.
binge.
Okay,
You
so
need more than 24 hours. if
Oh,
we're gonna watch-
sorry.
No,
We're doing the holiday
No, just the
special
movie?
first.
Well, and there's
That's-
Star Wars.
I don't know.
Editor's
I'm
cut,
teasing.
so-
I'm teasing.
Actually, that sounds kind of fun.
Who wants to do that
How
with
about
me?
this? When we have no COVID restrictions and we can actually have a bunch of people in a room watching a thing,
Yeah.
I think we should do like a challenge.
Oh my
like
God.
who can sit through all these movies?
Without taking a pee break.
No, we can schedule pee breaks. Because I did. So when Return of the King came out, I went to theaters to watch the extended edition of the first two movies and the third movie theatrical version. all in one sitting. It was like 13, 14 hours.
Oh
And there was like little breaks in between the movies. But even then, I got to go to the bathroom and stuff. By the end of the third movie, my ass was numb. Like it was difficult. It was actually hard. But I think we should do that. I think we should film
We
it.
should do that.
And we should see who reigns supreme. Like who
we
is
should
it?
also do.
What?
Holly is in to watch the 24-hour binge.
Heck yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Ask Holly how much Star Wars she's watched.
None.
What?
Oh, yeah, Holly and I could, we do our thing. We'll react to it.
Yeah.
I think you guys, people who haven't seen it should do a reaction thing. Like first time kind of, we got to figure out the order they watch stuff in.
It can't be machete order because we have to watch all of them. So, you know, we have work to do. There's
Like
science. We have to
like
do
a
science.
one, I don't even know where Solo goes.
No, 4, 5, 6. Wait, we'll figure it out.
What?
And then there's the Jar Jar Binks. I just remember sitting there as a kid.
Oh my
and
God.
I was watching it like,
favorite.
what is this
That's okay.
rabbit monster? Like,
If the only impression of Star Wars you have is Jar Jar Binks, that is
can fix
a
that.
first. That's upsetting on a strange level.
it upset me. I was like nightmares. I was like, what is this thing? I hate it.
It's okay. You're not alone.
Oh, no.
We all hate it. So many people hate it for different reasons.
Some people like it, and that's okay.
Yeah. Some people hate it for the racial stereotypes that it portrays, and some people hate it for the lame character that it is.
Just gave me nightmares. So I was like,
Jar Jar gave you nightmares?
It was like
Oh,
weird
the duck man.
beaked rabbit thing. Like, I was like, no.
Wait a minute.
Wait, rabbit duck man.
Beaked rabbit thing.
It does look a bit like a duck bill and large ears.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean,
Jar Jar gave you nightmares.
You guys are gonna.
You must be scared. Do you watch horror movies?
I don't.
Oh, okay.
I am terrified of horror movies.
Okay. There might be some other creatures in Star Wars that'll really freak you out if Jar Jar
Oh
scared
my
you.
God.
Oh my God. Wow.
what a
I went way off track.
sarlacc is? Okay.
Do you know what a sarlacc is? But yeah, is there anywhere else that you want to see like cartoons realized into live action?
Pedophile.
Ooh, live action.
Yeah, because like I was just went crazy about the Mandalorian for a second there, but like seeing those characters, I actually teared up. Like the season 2 of the Mandalorian has made me tears well up in my eyes twice with excitement. Like I wasn't sad, I was excited. I was just like,
Texted me very
oh my God.
fast.
I did. I texted her and I was like, because I know how much you guys like the cartoons, and I was like, this is a character that's live action. Ah! It's actually the craziest thing about it that made me kind of lose my mind even more was the character you see in episode 3 is played in live action by the actor that voiced the character in the animated series. Whoa. Which is so meta and as a performer, super cool. So that blew my mind, which also might help people at home narrow who it is.
Wait,
But
we should get away from that a little bit. But
Yeah,
do
sure.
what else is everybody watching? Because
Yeah.
I was like, Harley
I
Quinn.
was
blah, blah,
gonna
blah.
say, you guys were talking about crazy gore for Harley Quinn and whatnot. So I tried out watching Castlevania on Netflix,
oh,
and man, that thing is gory. I don't know, has anybody else watched it?
I haven't yet. I've had a friend recommended it watches
It
a ton of anime.
Surprisingly good. Like, cause it was one of those where I was like, I'll give it a shot, and I was like, what is happening? And then it's so like,
does it have Alucard in it?
yes,
Oh, sweet.
yes. So
Okay,
it's I
cool.
believe like, cause it's a game, right?
Yeah, Castlevania is a game. Alucard is Dracula's son.
Yes.
It's Dracula backwards.
So that's it. There are things that do definitely
You watched
tie
Monster
in.
Squad.
No, I played the Castlevania video game.
I'm just teasing.
Oh.
It does tie in though, like the story and everything. I assume because I never played it, but there are definitely those things, and it's
sweet.
super gory. I would say watch.
Oh.
Give it a watch.
Yeah, my friend might be in the chat. He watches sometimes live. Serial Gin. I don't know if you're out there, but he recommended Castlevania highly. What about you? You watching anything animated right now?
Honestly, no.
No?
I feel left out. I'm gonna
Oh.
leave. I'll see you
What
guys.
did you
Yeah,
watch?
you got some catching up to do. Get out of here.
No, I did.
What would you say do you recommend to people the most? That's an animated show.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, it's an animated show.
There's a question for Jordan on the.
Oh, bring it on.
Oh,
By whom?
I'm not sure who this is.
I don't have a name associated.
Miriam asks, have you watched Rocky and Bullwinkle?
Oh, God. Whoa.
Oh.
That's offensive to my people.
To your most people?
To your persona?
For my persona.
Yeah.
Alter ego.
Yes,
Really?
I've watched Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Was it just my thing inspired by Rocky and Bullwinkle in any way, shape, or form?
No.
That's
we had
not
an
surprising.
idea that it would be really funny if we had sort of like a spin-off sketch where I go to a convention and I meet a squirrel player, and then we get like harassed by a couple of
Russians?
A couple of Russians.
I would watch that.
Do not trust moose and squirrel.
There's just a couple of gopniks just giving us a hard time. That'd be great.
Yeah, so I don't know if anybody has, like, what do you recommend the most to people?
I was asking about a disappointment, and I wouldn't call it a full disappointment, but I was disappointed by. I still enjoy it to a degree, but I'm not like watching it rabidly. Is Star Trek Lower Decks? Like Lower Decks, I was really hoping for the same feel of Star Trek live action shows, and it's just like super
did you
zany.
finish the season?
No.
Okay, I think it does. So I felt the same way off the top, and usually, as a Netflix show, you have the rule of I got to give it 3 episodes to find out if I like it or not.
I've watched quite a few.
But I stuck with it for the whole season, and by the end, I was like, I'm in.
It's
But
all right.
It took me a long time to get there.
I mean, I happened to be. I started watching it while I was also watching The Boys, and one of the main characters in The Boys voices one of the main characters in that, and that kind of like you were saying, does it matter who plays the voices? And that actually got me to watch more of the show because I liked Huey so much in The Boys that knowing that he was voicing one of the characters in the show made me want to watch the Star Trek show
That
more.
was like Bob's Burgers and Archer for me.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was the link, because I was like, oh my God, I know that voice. And then I just kept watching it, so.
Oh, did you have you seen the crossover episode of Archer?
No.
Oh shit, sorry. No, just knowing that it exists is great. There's an Archer episode where he's in the diner and like you got to see it. It's
But
great.
do they draw Bob and his family?
No,
in
he's
that?
Bob.
But they do draw his family, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
And
they
the voice
draw
actors
On
who
witness
play his
protection
kids.
or something. Yeah.
Oh
They
my God,
they
okay, I need to
draw
watch that.
they draw Bob's family in Archer style. Yeah, you got to see
Oh
that
my
episode.
God, that would be
It's
so good.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's a great crossover. It was super smart, and the fact that they did that just because of the voice actor was like, I love tie-ins like that.
Totally.
It's really sad. Clearly, I love tie-ins. I went a little nuts about the Mandalorian.
It's connected. It's all connected.
It's all
Have you seen
connected,
him play
yeah.
werewolf? He gets very suspicious.
I played it once, and I went nuts. Yeah, I got to play Among Us. But yeah, Star Trek Lower Decks. I found that it's funny, but it's a little too zany. Like it
I think
doesn't
it's also
feel
not
like Star
enough
Trek.
lower decks.
What do you mean?
They just spend too much time with the captain and those
Oh,
people.
yeah.
So,
Well, okay, but have you watched TNG?
yes.
Okay, so I just finished. I've always loved TNG more than all other Star Trek, but I'd never done a sequential run through the series. And
That's a commitment.
just last weekend, I finished that. Finished the full run through all 7 seasons, and there is an episode in
They're
season
all Lower
7
Decks.
called Lower Decks. And I was like, oh damn! I guess this is where they got it, because the theme of it is a bunch of ensigns hoping for promotion in their relationships with the brass.
Yep.
And so, if that is actually the inspiration for that show, then
Maybe.
it makes sense.
Maybe. I don't
I
know.
don't
My
think
impression
that
was, if it's going to be the lower decks, then I want to see them in the lower decks doing what they do and what are
Oh.
the problems down there instead of it being the same. All the conflict in every episode is the same thing, whether it would have been the main crew mostly or
Yeah.
the lower deck crew. So I want to see what are the conflicts that they face down there. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
In the Star.
Maybe that'd be
in
too
the-
boring. Like rotate these things.
But isn't that like It's Always Sunny? The whole point is it's a show about like a bunch of people doing stupid shit and it's
and there's
funny
still
and hilarious.
drama there.
Yeah.
I guess so.
But like in the role-playing game for Star Trek, one of the things they say is, or you can all be lower deck crew in the notes. So when you're reading the Star Trek books, you know, you could try doing that and you create your own drama of what would be the dilemmas they would face. And I think it would be different.
You know what I think they should do an episode on, and maybe they have, I haven't watched all of season 1, is if you're watching Star Trek and they're in like combat, like ship to ship, there's always like damage to the ship. Report, like what's the damage? And you hear like, oh, deck 10's all fucked up. And then, but to have an episode that's a bottle episode on the damage of deck 10 and how they deal with it.
Yeah.
That would be a really interesting. If it's animated. That's
listening.
Sorry, yeah. I'm just giving ideas to the Star Trek Lower Decks people.
I recommend a lot to a lot of people. I really liked Final Space.
Oh, see, I couldn't get into it because I felt like it was trying too hard. I felt like it was trying to be Family Guy in space.
I like, though, that Ron Perlman's character is the exact same character in Titan AE.
Wait, what?
In Final Space.
In Final Space?
Yeah, he plays the guy's dad.
So,
Am I not
Ron
right about
Perlman-
this? I think I'm right about this.
Yeah, when you finally meet the main guy's dad.
so is Ron Perlman voicing it in both Titan AE and Final Space?
Shaman.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a really strange tie-in.
And I didn't know that.
Huh.
Yeah, he's this sort of elusive dad that sort of just talks through memories and stuff.
Huh. Okay. That kind of tie-in makes me want to watch that show
just
more.
love Isn't it funny how many of the shows have these weird like dad relationships with dads that have gone and left people? No? Just-
Wait, why is that weird? It's a pretty common theme. I think. Why is it weird?
I'm not saying. I'm just pointing out a lot of writers have the same.
Daddy issues? Why do all these writers have daddy issues? Why are daddy issue people writers? I think is the name. People with daddy issues tend to write things. Why is
That's
that?
kind of what Rick and Morty's really
Dad
about.
never loved me. Yeah. Rick and Morty is about that entirely. Holy fuck, it's Daddy Issues the show.
I mean, is it better if Rick's your dad or Jerry?
Oh gosh.
I mean, Rick. I'll take separation and like a neglect over just a weak-willed. Really?
Weak little baby man.
Yeah. Like, what kind of terrible father is Jerry? He's terrible.
At least he's there.
That's
I don't want to defend Jerry. I don't want to end up on the like devil's
you're
advocate
on pro
Jerry
Jerry.
side. No.
Listen, Jerry. No.
Have a poll, Jerry versus Rick.
There's a reason in that episode with they
Only
go.
Jerry's would vote for Jerry.
You're not a Jerry.
Only Jerry's would vote for Jerry.
And simple Rick. And simple Rick.
Oh, Simple Rick. Yeah,
love
he'd vote for
Simple
Jerry.
Rick.
He's on Team Jerry, but he eats his own shit. He does.
That's normal on his planet.
Sure. Universe. It's not planet. I mean, it says also planet. Anyway.
I don't know if it's across his whole universe.
Probably not. Wait, don't they say that it's not normal? It's like even weird on his like.
It's even weird on his planet.
Yeah.
Deep dive into that
Simple Rick.
episode. Here we go.
Oh God, deep dives into Rick and Morty would be extensive.
You'd have to do some serious math.
But no, the like marriage counseling episode when they go and like Beth is like that crazy like alien monster, and then Jerry's just a little weak-willed slug. Like that's so who he is, or that's how Beth sees him. But that's him. Like I don't know, that'd be a pretty lame dad, regardless of him being there.
Yeah.
Ugh. Tuh.
Tell us how you really
As
feel.
well.
Jerry?
I guess.
Yeah, I guess he does mean
doesn't-
well.
He just sucks, that's all.
Yeah.
And everything
just kinda
does.
sucks.
He does. I love when he tries really hard and like tries to be defiant. The one where he's like floating. What episode was that?
I love it when they go on adventures and they drop off all the Jerrys at the Jerry pit.
Jerry Daycare.
I forgot what it's called. Yeah.
Jerry Jamboree or something?
Yeah.
Jerry Jamboree.
Like looking for the remote and they're like,
That show is the thing. That show is representative of the thing I love the most about animation. Is that animation makes anything possible. Like any idea, when you write something, you can go just completely AWOL and go wherever you want something to go if you're animating.
And how much does that appeal to your brain, Jordan? Given that, like, you know, when you write a moose diving through screen doors a bunch of times, and then you realize now we got to make all those screen doors.
And burst through them.
I think for me, honestly, it'd be easier to build them in person than it would be to animate those screen doors blowing up and, you know. But
is it appealing as when you're thinking about writing something that you could do anything?
oh, I could do anything.
Right?
That'd be great.
Is the fact that there's less constraints on the walls of those boxes make it more difficult, or is it liberating?
Honestly, like I sometimes it depends on what I'm into, like what my project is, like I'm working on at the time. I mean, if sometimes I really like having weirdly tight restrictions because
Yeah.
it slows my brain down. I tend to just get horrible white page syndrome with a lot
But
of
you
projects.
you draw sort of like
Yeah.
comic panels.
I
Like,
do, yeah, no, yeah, but that's another thing. Like sometimes I have to have like a really good idea, and then I've got a comic that I've been working on for years now, and I have that specifically so that I've got a world that sort of focuses me down and takes me out of the clouds a little bit, you know, to actually work on something. But yeah, no, it's great. If I had a plan, if I had an idea for something, I love the idea that it has no boundaries.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I like the freedom of it. Like there's an idea that Chris Livingston came up with that we developed into a series, and it's a really crazy sci-fi
and he loves animation
fantasy.
too, right? So
Yeah, but we developed the show as something that we wanted to make as live action. And when we we worked on it a long time ago, and developed it to a certain degree. It came back to it years later, and we're looking at it again and went, what if we animated this? Because it was like a couple $100 million to get a season kind of show. Like it's a high
and like
high
you were,
production
like
value
you were saying
sci-fi
before,
fantasy.
now it's COVID times, so the realistic side of making something big like that is so much more realistic if it's animated.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that show would be an amazing animated thing because we always wanted to do a a backstory graphic novel or like comic book series that told the history of the show, and that the show takes place like 1,000 years later after the graphic novel. I'm not going to give too much more detail away because we still want to make it. But because of the fact that, I mean, does animation tie better to comic books or does live action? Does it really matter, other than the price tag?
I think the challenge is making a good adaptation no matter what you do. So if you are adapting a book to a movie, or you're adapting a movie back to a comic book, or you're adapting a video game into a movie or a comic
So
book.
it's what comes first.
But it's also just about making a good adaptation. So knowing what format you're doing is the key, right? So tell a good story for that format, that's what matters.
Yeah.
I've had a pretty salty taste in my mouth when they changed all those Disneys from cartoons to live actions, and
Have you liked any of them?
not really. Maybe
No?
Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, that was a near miss for me.
And then everything else was just like, why am I watching this?
Lion King I thought was lame. Like Lion King, I was like, this was because it's not really live action. It's just computer generated graphics. Like you're basically taking something animated it, reanimating it, and I don't think that any of the performances or the music hit as hard. Like it was like you just did it again worse. Why? I haven't watched Aladdin yet
Don't.
because Beauty.
gonna
No,
say
just don't
I
really.
watched the first 10 minutes. Like I was like, I'm usually pretty good at sitting through things, but I was like, I need to turn this off. Like this is not acceptable.
Oh damn! Really?
And I
That
loved
bad?
Aladdin when I was a kid. Like
Oh yeah,
I
Aladdin was
played
like
the
the
Aladdin
best.
video games. Like I had the
Look.
Jasmine like outfit. Like
Yeah.
so
What was-
when I watched the live action, I was like,
What was the first thing they did in this style? Like they
Jungle
did.
Book?
oh, right.
Was it?
Was that the first thing?
I don't know.
First thing that where they took like a Disney movie and
Yeah, the
Live
live
about it?
action like adaptations.
First one ever?
oh, that's probably
Tara?
crazy.
No, I mean in the recent like sort of push.
Oh, okay.
Like I know there was Beauty and the Beast, there was Aladdin, there
What
was The
was-
Lion
It
King.
must have been something before Beauty and the Beast.
I think
was-
Jungle Book was an early.
Because I mean, the funny thing is the when those came out as movies, it was like that order of those specific movies, like Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast,
There
Aladdin.
was a Snow White,
Lion
right?
King.
Snow White and the Huntsman.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that wasn't really a retranslation of the animated movie though. That was more of its own thing.
I just watched Chris Hemsworth do it.
Yeah. He could be breathing. We're
All
like,
right.
okay, this is great.
Did you enjoy his character in Ghostbusters?
Yes.
Yeah?
And I have thoughts about that gender swapping.
Let's hear it.
Well,
No?
we have time, or is that for a
We're
future
over time,
episode?
but I mean, I kind of want to know.
I think it's interesting because it shows the issues with the previous kind of version of that character by gender swapping it and making it you feel uncomfortable watching it.
Wait, of Janine Melnitz?
Of just having a woman play a secretary character in anything like that, because
Okay.
we see that all the time.
But Janine wasn't a ditzy secretary. She was a no-nonsense, I'm
But
not
we
going to take
often
shit from
we
these
often
assholes
give
kind of
those
character.
we often give those characteristics to a female character that we put in that role who is subordinate to the men in the organization. So by gender swapping it and then giving it the typical characteristics that we associate with that character, and it makes us be like, huh, that's not cool. I don't like it. And then you're like, why is it okay elsewhere?
Okay.
My thoughts, my 2 cents.
No, that's fair. The only thing I didn't like, I would have been fine with him being like them, even the fact that they were hiring him because he was hot and stuff. I had
They
no
call
problem
that
with
out in the scene.
Yeah, they call it out. I have no problem with that. I thought it was funny. I don't. If they were trying to make a character for character like swap.
But they weren't trying to make a character for character swap. They were, which I think is the issue that a lot of people had with that movie, is they just wanted to see their favorite characters again. And instead they put characters into those similar roles. But it wasn't just a scientist who was the same again. It wasn't just a character who was enigmatic and charming again. And it wasn't just another person who, they didn't fit the exact same molds, which made people
They
upset.
fit very similar molds, and I think we're gonna have to do a Ghostbusters comparison episode.
Opinions are abound.
Yeah. I'm gonna need to rewatch them to like fully do a comparison.
And probably the cartoon.
No, the cartoon doesn't need to play into the comparison of these movies. I don't think.
This is about cartoons.
I'm just trying to bring it back.
Oh, I'm
Trevor.
just bringing it back. Okay,
Come
you're
on,
bringing it back. It's okay. We're done here.
Flip the cards.
We're
Let's
done.
go.
All right, push everything
Okay,
down.
so thank you guys for being here. This
Thank you
was
for
a lot of
having
fun.
Thank you.
And yeah, what have we got coming up? What's next on the channel? Ye old channel.
It's American Thanksgiving this week, so Ketty is gonna make something.
Oh yeah, next week I think there's a witchcraft. There's Ketty's Kitchen.
Makeup, witchcraft makeup.
Witchcraft makeup. Oh yeah, okay. So we've got witchcraft makeup coming up next week. We've got Ketty's Kitchen. Little tips on what to do with your Thanksgiving leftovers. And then we're back for Filthy Talk, and then I can
And
talk about
baking's
what's...
a drag.
Yeah, but that's the weekend after next Filthy Talk.
Yeah.
So I'll talk about that next week on Filthy Talk. So join us next week. Again, you can watch us on Twitch or YouTube. This has been on Twitch for like the last 3 weeks. We've been a little quiet about it, but if you don't want to watch on YouTube, watch on Twitch. We're building it out. And thanks for joining us. See you again next week. Until next week, stay filthy.